Good morning everyone, this is my Volkswagen ID.3 First Edition Plus. I have this car over 3 years and today we're going to do a degradation test after the 3 years, 57,000 kilometers. I did a range test when I got this car in September of 2020 at 90 kilometers an hour, and I did one a year later, 2 years later, and today we're going to do it 3 years later. So how we're going to do this degradation test is very easy. We drive on the highway, drive a constant speed, a slow speed, 93 kilometers on the speedometer, because I did this the other years as well. It doesn't have to be 93, can be 92, but a low speed so there's not a lot of heat loss, or as least of heat loss as possible. Then we arrive back at under 10% at the Ionity charger on the other side. We then look at the kilometers that we have driven on the trip meter, not the real kilometers, and the average consumption that the car is showing me, because this is based on the kilometers that I think it has been driven. And then we calculate the battery capacity. So we'll see if what we have today. Charging now, I'm an idiot. That's very important to know. So I plugged in on the first Ionity charger and it said communication error. I tried again, communication error. Then I thought maybe it's plug and charge. I use my WeCharge card. Again, a communication error. I tried it on a different charger. It said the same thing again. I was like, wow, what is going on? Well, I charged the car fully this night, arrived here with 89% or so, and of course the battery care mode in ID.3 was active, and the charge limit was at 80%, and so it didn't charge. I'm an idiot. If you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and also there is channel membership here on YouTube. I also have merch, and if you are ordering an ID.3, 4, 5 within Germany, there's a referral program now, link in the description below. If you use that when ordering, we both get 200 euros charging credit. I'm also going to test the battery capacity with the Aviloo battery tester. It's this thing that's connected to my OBD port down here. It will read out my battery voltages, my state of charge, my temperature of the batteries, and then I have to drive from 100% to 10%, and then afterwards I get a certificate what the battery capacity and the degradation is. And again, shout out to Ionity, fix your screens. Here at this location, another 2 screens aren't working. I don't know why. I'm on my way. I already drove 44 kilometers. I'm down to 90%. I started with 100%. We don't care about the range today or the consumption. It's more about the mix of those two. Average speed 75 kilometers per hour is perfect, because so far I didn't have to slow down once for 2 seconds or so. So I'm driving the 93 the whole time. I'm not accelerating full. No, it's true. I had to change highways just now. That also slowed me down a bit. I really don't use a lot of power, so there is no heat loss. I am in eco mode. And my climate is on 20 degrees and very low fan speed. That should mean almost no heat at all. It was 11.5 degrees when we started. It was just 9.5. Now it's 10. In the fog it's colder. Yeah, the fog started like 10 kilometers outside of Passau. And what I'm doing, I'm really going in one direction the whole time till I am at 55-56% state of charge, and then I'm turning around, hopefully arrive under 10%, then back at the charger. Of course, it's awesome on German highway on a Sunday. Trucks are not allowed. So I have not seen one vehicle in front of me that was driving slower than me. I didn't have to pass once. And I'm also not slowing down too many people. Even though it's a lot of traffic, people can pass. I'm driving so slow, even if they drive 110, they can pass me in no time. So everything is good. Hey, you might not know this from me. Back in the day, I'm still doing it a bit, I was playing guitar, I was in a band, and before the band, metal, and before the band, I was recording by myself for many years. I would say till from when I was 16 till we had the band, which was, I don't know, 20 years later or something. And there's one song, I'm just going through my old stuff that I have on the phone, and just one song that's really metal. I'm an idiot. But that was a fun time. I'm sure this was recorded, I don't know, more than 20 years ago. I'm at 75%, and when it hit the 75, I was driving exactly 100 kilometers. Average consumption 138 watt-hours per kilometer. That would mean, I just calculated it, if the state of charge would go down linearly, so linear, yeah, that it would be a capacity of 55.2 kilowatt hours. So we'll see when we are at a lower state of charge if it's still the same. Again, this is based on that the state of charge goes down in a linear way. Yes, we go on. It will take a while because we have to drive 400, no, not 400, let's see, 360 kilometers around that. So it will be over 4 hours, maybe 4.5 that I have to drive. That's okay. I'm at 50%. I turned around at 58%, and I think it was a bit too early, but the range and the distance to the charger showed me around 35-37 kilometers of margin, and I don't want to slow down even more. I'd rather speed up like I do now. I sped up to 100 kilometers an hour because I have 141 kilometers to go and 181 kilometers of range, so exactly 40 kilometers of margin, and it's getting a bit more of margin, so I might have to speed up even more because I want to arrive at the charger with under 10%. And again, if I don't drive 130, so 105 is still okay. It's all about not using too much power out of the motor, so there is as least of heat loss as possible. When I was at 50%, I drove 198 kilometers. Consumption is the same as now, 134 watt hours per kilometer. That would mean then a battery capacity of 53 kilowatt hours. So we went down from 55 to 53. That's why we do this test the whole way, not just 25%. And we're going down, like I said, as close to zero well, under 10% at least. I don't want to stress myself with arriving with 1%, but it's possible it would even be less than with that. Using Volkswagen navigation to get home. A lot of people complain about that. I love it. I'm sorry. Yes, the search is maybe not the best. So when you search for something, Google Maps is 10 times better when you just put in a business or a location where you want to go. And maybe it takes a bit longer, but the overall navigation, what it shows me, and of course then the ID light is doing its thing. I love that a lot, and it still knows it knows that I'm driving not 130. With Google Maps, it always calculates the arrival time with 130 on the highway. The Volkswagen navigation knows I'm driving slow. I think it takes the average speed from here. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So we'll see. But I'm going on. Traffic is a lot. I had to pass a few cars and trucks, like 3-4 or so. It's not a lot. And like I said, I turned around maybe a bit too early, but that's okay. Rather than too late, it would be horrible. I'm at 25%. It was 281 kilometers with a consumption of 136. Consumption got higher because I sped up to 105 kilometers an hour, because I still had over 40 kilometers of margin, and I don't think I would arrive with the 10%. Now it's way better. I have 30 kilometers of margin. That should be fine, and the car even tells me I should arrive with 8%. Well, we'll see if that's true. But I calculated the battery capacity with these numbers, and I get to 51 kilowatt hours. But we're getting into an area where I can believe it. Another 1 or 2% more degradation, down to 12%, but we'll see when we're there. We calculate everything, and then we calculate from beginning when I got the car to now how much degradation we have. I turned the AC on, by the way, because it was 17 degrees and the sun, but the blowing is not very strong. But of course this is consumption, but this consumption should be in the consumption number here. This is not something that's like heat loss gone and will not show up in the number. This will show up. I arrived with 8%, drove 340 kilometers with a consumption of 137. I'm gonna calculate the battery capacity in a second. I'm back at home, and now we're gonna look at the numbers that I achieved. I drove 340 kilometers, drove 100 to 8%. That would mean a full range, if I would drive it down to zero, 369.57 kilometers. My average consumption was shown as 137 watt hours per kilometer, which means 50.63 kilowatt hours. And in the first test 3 years ago, I achieved 57.17 kilowatt hours. Now, from the start to 21, I lost 7.91%. From the start to last year, I lost 10.39%. And from the start to today, I lost 11.43%. I don't know if I should be happy. It sounds a lot. I mean, the change from last year to this year is just 1%. First year it was 8%, then it was almost 3, let's say 2.5. It is 2.5 almost. And now it's just a bit over 1%. So it's slowing down extremely. And again, in the first year, I was doing a lot of DC charging and a lot of charging to 100% because I did a lot of tests, or I had to drive very far and I had to charge to 100%. But important, I never let it sit at 100% for a very long time. So maximum a few hours, never a day, never half a day. Really, if I knew, okay, I have to have the car at 100%, then at night before I went to bed, I charged from 80 to 100% at home. And but it was a lot of DC charging, and then the second year it was less, and then last year, and I don't think this is shown in the number, I'm just explaining, last year I almost never charged to 100%, maybe in the whole year 3-4 times, and I guess this was all last week with the IAA, the International Car Show in Munich, where I had to charge fully because I didn't know if I can charge there and can come back somehow. It's cheaper to charge at home. And what I also did is 90% AC charging, so not a lot of DC charging. And in the first year it was 80% DC charging, I would say. But I lost another percent, now at 11.43% from the start. That is a lot. When we take the range, the WLTP range of 420 kilometers, that is almost 50 kilometers. That's a lot. 50 kilometers less range in 3 years. But let's look at Aviloo battery diagnostics, what they say. They give me a state of health of 91%, so they say I lost 9% of my battery capacity. And they also see that what the voltage was from the start, minimum, maximum and end, and that looks pretty good. It's 0.01 volts of a cell difference from minimum to maximum, and in the end it was 0.02. That's pretty good. Temperature, you can see it was 28.5 max in the beginning and it cooled down, so it didn't use a lot of heat. That's awesome. And it was, I'm guessing, the 28 degrees because I was charging. And yes, so they say I have available battery capacity of 49.28 kilowatt hours, but they also say when it was new it was 54 kilowatt hours and usable for driving. This is important. It's not the battery capacity, it's when you drive it from 100% to stand still. So this is how it is. In 3 years I lost 11.43%. That is not little, but that's what I have to live with this car for the next few months. At some point Walter will go, leasing will run out at some point and I will get another car. And hopefully it will be still the plan that I will get a Volkswagen ID.7. It's not sure yet, but I hope so. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.